Que lo que? Knicks Nation, what's good? It's your boy Triple M. Welcome to Knicks Wildin' Podcast, episode 68. Coming to you after an exciting Knicks win 116-114 in Atlanta, on the road, taking care of business. I mean, this is what we do. This is what we come here for and talk that stuff, man. You feel the excitement of this show of Rip,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Knicks
Yes, sir.
Wildin' Podcast. You already know the vibes. Triple M here with my guys is before we gonna talk this game. We're gonna talk this exciting Knicks win 116-114. We off the rails right now, but I gotta introduce you to my guys, man. You already know the vibes. Don Juan here, but we got a special guest tonight on the show, man. Give it up to ARIHOOPS, man. This guy, bro, like I remember a conversation we had a few months ago at the bar. You already know, lit off that tequila. And I was like, bro, what are you doing different? Like he said he's doing something different, a Knicks show. And I'm like, bro, what you doing different? Like, I want to hear about it. He told me he likes talking about old school players. And here he is, doing old school retro, man. Give it a like, give it a shout out. I'll let you introduce it, Adi. But before you go, I want to just say he does a lot of old school introduction to old school players. I saw you doing something with Antoine Jameson. I mean, that was one of my best players growing up watching. So you sometimes you go into these shows and you go down memory lane, like the Earl to Pearl Monroe. He had a show. There's so many show episodes that he had that you gotta take a watch, man. And I'll let you talk a little bit more about it, Adi. But Adi, tell the people it was really good, bro.
Yeah, man, what's going on, yo? Thanks for having me on, man. I've been
Of course.
following you guys for a little while now, probably over a year and a half, and it's a pleasure for me to come on here and talk ball. Like you stated before, man, you guys don't know me. Ari Hoops 84. I'm all on social, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify. Go School Retro NBA is on Spotify and YouTube, and you can follow me on there. And basically, like what you just said, man, I talk about old school players because I wanted to give a little kick, to the content creation game. And I always had a love for old school players. So I said, you know what? When we think about NBA greats, we only think about the LeBrons and Stephs now. But you forget about the guys like the Sidney Moncriefs, the George Gervins, the Artis Gilmores, the Nate Thurmans, the Will Chamberlains, the Kareem Abdul-Jabbars, the Night Tiny Archibald, Jerry Lucas. I mean, I could go on for days with Nick players and non-Nick players. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I give the love to. And you guys need to follow. I got good stuff coming. I got an Andrew Tony tribute coming through this week, and I got my guy Antoine Jameson, North Carolina legend, and one of my favorite players that I don't think gets talked about enough. And I'm gonna be doing a tribute dropping tomorrow.
Yo, Antoine was a dog in Washington, and then throughout his career, even in the
Golden
between
State
them.
too.
Golden State.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So he's. I can't wait to that episode, bro. But Don Juan was really good, my brother.
Hey, Don Juan in the building. Feels good to be back. Last week, I took a little off day. I mean, had a busy week, but we back. I'm excited to talk some Knicks, especially after that a W without RJ, which is has been a pretty rare sighting so far throughout the season. But hey, I know a lot of Randall haters a little disappointed tonight because they got nothing to talk about. So, but we're here now, and what a show, right? What a show for Adi to jump on with us to talk about this game because it was a great show from Randall. It looks like he's finally picking it up after a good 5 games of just showing out and putting in some work. A lot of doubters out there, man. You're running out of narratives. You're running out of narratives, man.
Yeah, exactly, Don Juan. So y'all know if y'all been watching the show, Zebo is a Randall lover, but there is no bigger Randall lover that I know than Adi Hoops, man. This man loves Randall, excuse me. So we had to bring him to show some love. So Adi, I got a question for you.
What's up?
Real quick, let me read off Randall's last 5 games: 27 points, 10 rebounds, 23 points, 16 rebounds, 23 points, 5 rebounds, 25 points, 9 rebounds, and tonight 29 points, 10 rebounds. So, Adi, I got a question for you. So, because a lot of people, Knicks Nation, especially on Twitter, is kind of split. You got the Randall lovers and you got the Randall naysayers, or the Randall haters, whatever you want to call them. So a lot of people they think you are Randall overload lover. I want to ask you, how would you respond to that question? Are you a Randall overload lover? Like how would you respond to that question because Zebo says he's even killed, so, according to Zebo. So I want to
Yeah,
ask you.
which I could respect that too, being like that. But at the same time, a lot of people, man, I don't know how long you've been following me for a couple of years now. I had a love and hate relationship with Randall too, so I know how the hate, can get the best of you sometimes. But let's be real. When Jalen Brunson gets on the podium and he talks about even when he was going through his struggles early in the season, and listen, man, I've been following basketball. I know. Listen, I played it organizationally. I played it in high school. Played it all throughout my childhood, teen years, and I know what ankle injuries feel like. And for a guy that's 6'8", 250, a lot of people don't realize Julius Randle's a strong guy. And for him to trust that weight on the ankle, you could tell at the beginning of the season he was following his track. Remember, he spent most of the offseason recovering. But to your question to what people say about why I support him so much. First off, I'm a Knicks fan, right? Second of all, why am I not going to rally behind a guy that's a big part of this team? Because whether people like it or not, it don't matter what the fans feel. The front office and the organization is invested in him, just like they are invested in Jalen Brunson. And if you ask Jalen Brunson, he will tell you Julius Randle means a lot to this team. And Julius Randle will tell you Jalen Brunson elevated him and made him, a better person, a better player. He says it all the time. It's starting last year. So if we could be so quick to kick a guy down when he's down, because I feel like, coming off that COVID year, I feel like a lot of pressure was on him. And I think him being a number one option, I think got to his head. The fans booing. And, he wasn't, you got to remember, this guy really didn't, you guys got to remember, this guy's been like a storied basketball player since he was in AAU. This guy's never received this type of criticism, never received this type of, this fan, coming at him the way that they, and we know New York is a brutal place. I mean, they did it to Ewing, they did it to Melo. I mean, Julius Randle is no exception to the criticism, you know what I'm saying? But this guy, if you think about it, man, this guy broke his leg first game of the year. First game of the NBA career game. So where he's at now, bro, if he wasn't on the Knicks, he would be celebrated right now. Yeah. From probably Knicks fan. They'd be that guy, they'd be like, yo, you know what?
You should trade.
We might have to think about bringing my man here. You know what I'm saying? This dude is a two-time baller. He's only 28 years old. He could be got, but I'm gonna root for the guy because he's here. He's a Knick. Yeah. And as long as you wear that jersey, I don't care if if I have my doubts about you, if you know what I'm saying, I'll be hoping I'm wrong. Like I will take that L and be like, yo, this guy, upped his game, even though I wasn't too crazy about him. Just like I never gave up on RJ. I support everybody on this roster. One man through 15. You wear a Knick jersey, I'm gonna support you. I'm gonna criticize you when you play bad, but also I'm not gonna jump off the bridge early in the season. Don't give up on you too quick. And I feel like there was a lot of fans, especially early in the year, they couldn't wait to come out the grave and pray for his downfall and say, yo, you see, I told you, he's a fluke, he's a fraud. Because any real basketball head, and just for a person that knows the game, that just doesn't watch the Knicks, knows that players can bounce back, especially him coming off that injury. He spent all his summer recovering from injury. He didn't really play in the preseason. So essentially his preseason was those first few games. Then you got people that say, oh, well, if he's hurting the team, why don't he sit? So you rather have, so let me get this straight. You rather have a guy sit out early, don't play, and then struggle in December and November when the games actually start, getting more important. And then we end up, it fucks up the playoff seeding. And, it's just, you don't want to do that. You want to let the guy, anybody who's playing on a bad ankle, you have to keep playing. You got to get that blood flowing. You got to get that, the juice flowing, because the more you sit on it, the longer it's going to take to recover. And anybody that had ankle surgery can tell you that.
I don't want to cut you off, but we're going to talk about this exciting win. But I just have one more Julius question about you. What do you say about when he has that pouting stage? Because that's my problem with Julius. He usually has that pouting stage where, especially the camera's already on him. Like, people do not like Julius Randle, some people, and they have the Randle cam, I call it. The Randle cam be on him. So you see when he misses that play or when he puts his hands up. And it's obvious. It's very obvious. So what do you say about that stage of his game that like drives people crazy?
I think people microscope it too much. I mean, if you watch around the league a lot, I'm telling you, bro, I'm not saying you specifically, but if you watch around the league, there's a lot of star players that when that shot ain't falling, it shows on them, and they do that type of stuff. He's not the only one. But of course, when I'm not saying you, but I'm saying in general, like people will microscope it because they're already. Some people just admit it. They don't like the guy,
Yeah.
regardless. They can't get over the thumbs down, from a couple years ago. And every little thing he does is like when he had the fight with Quickly last year, which is a bunch of nothing burger. And that happens like all the time around the league with stars and teammates. LeBron, Anthony Davis, you name it. I mean, Draymond Green, God forbid, laid out Jordan Poole in practice, and then they was good a couple of months later. I'm not saying it's normal, but I'm saying is that a lot of teammates fight on camera and off camera. Just sometimes you catch it. But, when Obi did that with RJ Barry on the sidelines, it was passion. You know what I'm saying? But because it's Julius, it's like, okay, because your favorite player doing it, it's okay. But because you hate Julius, you're going to hold them to a different standard. It's hypocritical. I think it's a bunch of nothing. I mean, are there times that I feel like sometimes he needs to hold his composure? I'll be the first one to admit it. He's not the greatest at it. But listen, he's an emotional creature. We got to love him for who he is, man. You know what I'm saying? He's a Knick. He's a two-time All-NBA,
Imperfect
two-time
player.
All-Star. Let's ride with him, man. Let's uplift the man. And then look, the last 6 games, he's been shutting everybody up. And I said he was going to be fine.
He
Yeah.
sure has.
Yeah, he sure has. He sure has. But fellas, let's get back into this game. We talked about Julius enough. I know we're gonna talk about him a lot more this season. But the Knicks win a thriller in Atlanta, 116-114. It was Julius had a big game, as we mentioned before the show, 29 points, 10 rebounds. What about Mitchell Robinson? 6 point, 15 rebounds. That man loves playing in Atlanta. He loves playing in Atlanta. And Jalen Brunson, 41 minutes tonight, fellas. Missed a lot of easy shots, I felt like today, but 6 of 10 from 3-pointers. Give him 24 points. Give him 8 assists, actually. People will be saying he be ball hogging the ball, and he had 8 assists. And bro, can we put the Trey Young owns New York narrative away? That's it. Tuck it away. I know he cooked us in the playoffs, but he cooked Alfred Payton and Reggie Bullock. That's it. It's over. He does not own us. He goes 6-15 against us in his career. Like we killed Trey Young. Nothing like Atlanta to get us right. You feel me? After that tough 10 game stretch that we were on. Get to Atlanta. Now we feeling good. And we take this game 116-14. And it was not easy. We had 15 turnovers, 21 points off turnovers. That was pretty frustrating, to say the least. But fellas, like I'll be saying this every show. We gotta make our free throws. And today we didn't shoot many free throws. We had 11 free throws, but we made 10 of them. We made 10 free throws, and we won by 3 points. That's the difference of the game. I felt like a lot of Knicks games, we don't take advantage at the line. Obviously, the most uh throwing game that stands out to me in this early season is that Boston game in the first game of the season. We should have taken that, but we missed so many free throws. But neither here and there. But I feel good after this win, fellas. Don Juan, tell me how you feeling after this Knicks win.
I feel good, I'm not gonna lie. Starting the game, I'm like, yeah, Atlanta, man, we got this in the pocket. We up 13 and whatnot. And then we go on this, something that we saw last year a lot on these like stretches where we just can't score. And Atlanta got hot. They started making buckets. As I expected, I felt like the game wasn't over. It's only the first quarter, but still, it's like we resorted to this ISO ball, and even still, it wasn't like we were turning the ball over as much as as we would usually see. But even still, I do like the fact that we won this game, especially because if we would have lost this game, there's a game that would have haunted us all season. We would have been talking about in March, like, damn, remember that game? We was up and this and that, like. But we won it, especially a foe like the Hawks. This is a team that, maybe towards the end of the year, we're probably going to be competing for standings. The Hawks have gone to a good start. If I'm not mistaken, we're probably tied with them right now as we speak, 6-5. And they're one of the better offenses in the league. So I do think that offense is going to stick around for them all season. So at the end of the day, we have to make sure that if there's a tiebreaker, we own that tiebreaker when it comes to the end of the season. But nonetheless, a win is a win. I take it. Shout out to Big Mitch for miraculous plays. I mean, not only holding on the board, but one of the biggest saves of the game when he threw his body on the floor to save the ball and dish the ball out for one of the biggest baskets of the game. So, I mean, shout out Mitch, shout out the team. I mean, a lot of effort towards the end there too as well. I mean, from Julius Randle to Emmanuel quickly to even DiVincenzo making some crazy plays. I mean, bro, it was definitely a team effort. It wasn't pretty, but it's a dub nonetheless, and we take it. And a nice W, like you said, Triple M, to start this new, I guess we see the season in tens, and that first 10 game stretch was pretty tough. Now we start a new stretch of games, and the Hawks, especially on the road trip, we got to start right. And the Hawks, man, we got to make an example out of them. They're in another tier. We're a little higher than them.
Tough, gritty win, Don Juan. Like you mentioned, tough, gritty win, and we needed these. We need to stack up these wins after that tough 10 game stretch. We was at 500, 5-5. We move on to 6-5, and let's stack a couple of these. This is why, if the Knicks are a good team, we got to take advantage of these games. We are a tier above Atlanta. We got to take advantage. We got to win these games. Atlanta played yesterday. This is the second game of back-to-back. We've lost all three of our games that we played back-to-back. So let's take advantage of these wins. But Adi Hoops, I'm intrigued to see what you got to say about this dub.
Yo, man, can we like stop this Trey loves playing the Knicks, man? Because it seems to me that every time he plays the Knicks, there's a lot of times he comes up with an L. Ever since that COVID year. So we got to knock that off, man. Yo, but we got to give a big shout out to Mitch, man. That man has been crucial to this team. You look at the first quarter, obviously Julius Randle, we just touched on, did what he did, came out the gate, bulldozing all game, passing the ball, shooting the ball, doing everything you asking him. Jalen Brunson, while he had an off night, he did a lot of sacrificing with his body. Gave up his body a lot of charges. Basically causing turnovers, which turned into points. And our second unit, as we turned into a 13-point lead, unfortunately, the second unit wasn't that good. They played a little sloppy. They were doubling a little too much for my liking, causing late contests. And Bogdanovich, you know what he's in there for. He's in there to shoot. You got to run him off the line. You got to get that man off the line. You can't let him stand out there and just spot up. You can't, because you give him a hair second, he's just like Kevin Waiter, man, when they had him in Atlanta. He's money. So they go on that big run, and we turn the ball over. Second half regroup. Atlanta, the momentum starts shifting. Actually, in that fourth quarter, it looks like that game was getting away, especially when they went up by 7 and Sadiq Bey got that putback dunk. I looked at the body language, and I'm not going to lie to you, man. I said in my head, yeah, this one might be a L, and it's going to be a tough L. But let me tell you, man, the way that team bounced back is just indicative of the identity that they have. You can never count the Knicks out, because this is not the Knicks of 3, 4, 5 years ago. This is the Knicks, the new Knicks that, we could counter runs, and we're not going to let the game slip out our hands. And the team fought. It wasn't the prettiest win of ever. But listen, at the end of the day, a W, I'll take a W before I take an L. So, I take the good with the bad. It is what it is. They fought. Jalen Brunson, while he had a bad game, he hit the shots when needed in the fourth quarter. A few shots that closed the game out. And even Emmanuel quickly, man, God, you got to stop fouling on them threes. I try to keep my faces with him because he does that a lot. And sometimes Quentin Grimes does that. I said, what is it to these guys that they're so good at basketball, but they foul on a damn three? Like, come on, man. But you know what? He hit the free throws, and that negates that. We'll deal with that at a later date. But I'll take the win, a gritty win over Atlanta, another foe. And like you said, man, that head-to-head, those things come up in playoff season. We get them tiebreakers, and we're going to need these type of wins against, these playoff, these teams.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned it. My girl, she was like, should I stay up to watch this game? I'm like, just go to sleep. This is going to be a nest. This is going to be an L. This is going to be those losses that we argue about. I'm going to be like cursing you out. And she's like, nah, I'm going to stay up. I feel good about this win. And bro, quickly came out. Shout out to Quick. He's such a big player to this team. Yeah, and he really showed it, because you see Randle, he would defer. He would defer, and he was deferring in that fourth quarter. He was like, yo, Quick, do your thing, give me the ball in the post. Give me the ball in the post. I'm gonna see if anything's popping. If not, I'm gonna give it back to you. And that was happening a lot, and Quickly was making those plays. So shout out to Quick, uh, making those plays in the fourth quarter and kind of spearheading that win. He kind of really
Right.
spearheaded that win. I was giving him a lot of stuff for that Boston game because he didn't show up. One
Yeah.
for 10
We
on that,
needed it.
chucking, not making plays, and the Knicks lost. So Emmanuel is so important to this Knicks team. He's like so important. But as I'm on that topic, fellas, I want to ask you a question. Quentin Grimes left in that third quarter with looked like he couldn't. He was really favoring that left hand. It didn't look well. It didn't look well. It looked. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think he's gonna miss a few games. So I want to ask you guys: are you worried about that Quentin Grimes injury? You think it's gonna affect this next team? Adi Hoops, give me your thoughts.
I mean, it's not. It doesn't look like from what the way Tibbs was talking about it in the post game that it's going to be a long term injury. It's probably going to be like if it is anything, he's going to miss a few games. But this is where the addition of Dante DiVincenzo is crucial because I would say if we didn't have Dante, we'd be in trouble. But you know, we have Dante, and then we got other capable soldiers. We're gonna have to obviously give McBride some burn. So we gotta see what he got. And listen, man, it's next man up. I love Grimes shooting the 3-point a lot better. And the thing is, man, I think if he plays his game, we might actually not even be so close because he was shooting the hell out of the rock tonight, man. I mean, this guy's shooting 40%, man, career best on threes. And listen, man, when he almost dunked it, he almost yammed it. He cocked it back. But Conway, and you know what, man? I think that was a little bit of a foul too. I don't know, but he might have. I think he got away with a little contact on it. But
For
listen, I want to
sure,
see
for
more of that.
sure.
A lot of people forget, bro. Quentin Grimes was a point guard in high school. He didn't switch positions so he played in Houston. So he played his college ball. He was groomed as a point guard, and you can see it, man. He knows he can get to the basket. But I think he's instructed to kick out a lot of time. But I would love to see him finish strong like that more than ever this year.
We
I'm
love it.
loving what he's doing.
We love it because everybody that you really talk to said Quentin Grimes was gonna have that year three breakout, and
I said it too.
it's been a little bit of a struggle, but when you really dive into the numbers, I mean, he's just guarding everybody's best player at the wing position or even at the point guard position. One, two, three, he's guarding the best player on that team, and he just doesn't get his number called. So it's hard to get in rhythm sometimes for Quentin Grimes. So I'm a little worried if he has to miss some times. I saw Tibbs say that he doesn't think so. So I'm hoping that, but like when Josh Hart start, it just brings a little clunkiness to that starting lineup. Today we got off to a fast start thanks to Brunson and Randall. But there's some games where it just brings a little clunkiness. But like Adi who just mentioned, Dante DiVincenzo. I mean, that's just somebody who we can plug right in. And we give my boy McBride some time. I love seeing McBride get some burn, get his because he's always ready. He's always ready, but it's good to see him get some real action in a game. So I hope we could implement him into we saw him tonight the last game we didn't see him tonight. And RJ's injury, who knows? Like I don't know if it's a migraine. I'm a tequila drinker, so I know them tequila hangovers be lasting sometimes. I know they be. I know they. So I don't know what's good with my RJ. I don't know if he was in Dykeman and in Headfield or something, but bro, calm down. It's the middle of the season right now. RJ's the middle of the season. But Don Juan, how you feeling about that Grimes injury?
Not gonna lie, at first, the way he was grimacing, holding his hand, it looked pretty bad. I felt, and but if you look at the replay, it doesn't even look like anything major happened. But the finger could get caught, dislocated, whatever the case may be. At the end of the day, pain is pain, so you're gonna show face and emotion towards it. Obviously, another injury right now with RJ already on the shelf. You hate to see it, but I just I don't know how to read. It really depends on RJ's situation. Granted, we do have the depth in the guard position that we could bring out McBride, and I would love to see him out there. But when you see McBride playing too much minutes, that means something's up. At the end of the day, he's still also back of the bench type of player that he's gonna play his serviceable minutes, but you can't rely on him either. But like you said, Adi, the fact that we got Dante DiVincenzo out there, I feel a lot more confident than maybe I would feel last year. At the end of the day, Dante DiVincenzo is gonna bring that's the same qualities that a Quentin Grimes would bring on every given night. So a high 3-point shooter, a defensive player, guy that's gonna get boards and is active on got active hands, whether it's passing lanes or just stepping up and contesting shots. Like those are the qualities of the players that we got on this team. So I'm okay. Granted, if it's a hand injury, so it shouldn't be too long, but you never know with like the especially hands. Those are things that are real delicate. There's a bunch of bones there that aren't just gonna recover off of 1 week. Sometimes it could last months, but hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully just a jam finger. Maybe they just gave him some rest because sometimes it's early in the season. You don't want to force matters. Just like even RJ being out there. I would love to see RJ out there, but maybe a couple rests for him won't hurt, especially based on this good start that he's had so far and that early injury where he messed up his knee. We don't want to force matters. And look, I mean, today without RJ, without Grimes for a bit of the game, we pull out this win. So it just goes to show that this team is capable of competing. And we got a few easy games too. So, Hornets and Wizards coming up, or, Wizards and Hornets in that order. Back to back still, but even nonetheless, those should be some easy games for us. But like the Knicks of the old, those are games that we tend to, not show up to. But I don't think this team, this team is gritty. This team shows up, and just like Adi mentioned earlier, when we were down 7 with a few minutes left in the game, that's a game that we probably, tank. And even though our guys will still be out there, just the emotion and the mentality wasn't there. Where I think this year, I think the next man up mentality is really there. And let's see, man. Let's get some minutes from McBride too. I saw him out there early today. I was hyped. I'm not gonna lie.
Facts. My boy McBride, he got to get some minutes, but we got to get my boy Adi Hoops out of here. Don, we're gonna continue the show, but Adi, give us some closing thoughts. I know you got a lot to say about this Julius Randle little hot streak going on. Actually, one more question. Obi Toppin. I mean, Obi had a huge game last year. I know you on some. Last time I said that this trade was a black guy on the organization. You kind of roasted me for that take. Uh, Obi, he's an interesting player because he's just always gonna be followed by Knicks and Knicks fan. He was a fan favorite. And people just forget that the Knicks had to make a choice whether you was gonna play Obi or Quickly, and we didn't pay Quickly, but I'm sure we're gonna come to some type of agreement or trade in the near future. But Adi, you're a strong Obi disbeliever. You do not believe in his game. You think all he does is dunk, jump, leak out for the exciting dunk. So before you get up out of here, I want to get your Obi thoughts. And this is after Obi had 27 points on 80% from the field, bro. Like
on the 11th game.
On the 11th game of the season. So I need to hear your thoughts on this Obi thing, bro.
Yo, all right, man. A lot of people. I mean, I say it on the timeline all the time. I mean, I'm sure you see it. But a lot of people misconstrue me when I talk about Obi. They always say, "Oh, well, you're an Obi hater. You're this and that." And it's like, how can I hate somebody who's not on my team? When he was here, I had my critiques with him. But let me tell you something. I was rooting for the guy. I wanted him to succeed. I wanted him to be to work on his game. I wanted him to put the ball on the floor, to put up basically get a bag, take it to the rack, because I felt like he was meandering too much. Y'all still there?
Yeah.
Oh, I went off the screen. I thought y'all did.
Giving out your Obi for solo right now.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. So listen, man. The kid's he played 4 years in college. He played. People always go. They like to live on that college hill. When he was 19 years old, bullying a bunch of young kids. As a senior and a weak conference, like you can't really go off that. I believed in the guy at one point, but after a while, you got to be that kind of fan that sometimes you got to take the fan hat off and just realize that what I called him. I even said he got a Mari Stoudemire. He was a Mari Stoudemire on skates, but I was wrong, bro. I'm gonna take an L for that because I'm not always right. Nobody is. So that's when I took an L in the Cam Reddish situation because he wasn't who I thought he was. And I don't know what's his weird fandom rooting for Pacers because I grew up in an era hating Reggie Miller, hating Rick Smits. And listen, man, no offense to Obi, we had to get rid of him. He was due a contract. We took care of the CAA guy. We put him on a losing team that can kind of like showcase him a little bit and see what he got because they don't have nothing else to prove because they're not really going anywhere this year. So they give the guy a shot. But I always said, man, you can't tell me what has he worked on? What has he gotten better at since he's been in the league? Even this year. You look at the game he had last night. I saw that game. All he did was a lot of the times it was open layups and it was transition dunks. It was nothing special, nothing short of what he was doing over here. Can he still rebound? Can he at least be a marginally okay defender? Because he's a traffic cone on D. And he doesn't have the upper body strength to even get to the cup or dunk it on anybody for that matter. When do you see like a hardcore posterizing Obi dunk in somebody's face? You know what I'm saying? You don't see it because he's just standing in the corner. And he's doing the same thing he was doing in New York. He can't put the ball on the floor. He can't rebound. And he's always leaking out. So essentially, when a game starts slowing down in a half-court game, which he's not really good in, the numbers are going to start dropping and teams are going to start detailing. Because you got to remember, he's open for a reason. Because teams are not worried about Obi scoring because they know that he doesn't really have a bag. He can't get to the basket. So, he doesn't know. He can't even put the ball on the floor. So at the end of the day, it's not hating. Sometimes we just got to be real. And on top of that, fuck anybody that plays for the Pacers, man. I don't care if he was a Knick. Listen, man, I don't see my team trade one of my favorite Knicks, Anthony Mason, John Starks, Sprewell, Ewing. And I'm going to cry about Obi Toppin, and I'm going to put up every stat line every time he has one okay game after like 15 games to be like, oh, yeah, I told you so. Woo. Bro, that's weird fandom that I would never be a part of. That's like you got the Homer goggles on and you don't want to take them off. Like, to me, it's corny. The Indiana Pacers are a rival that I can't stand, and I'm not rooting for anybody that wears that jersey. I don't care, Nick or no Nick.
Adi, who's dropping the mic as he departs? That was that's true. It's hard to root for the Pacers for me. I saw that documentary on that 8-point by Reggie Miller. I lived through that documentary as a young kid that scarred me forever. And I just can't root for nobody on the Pacers. And as much as Obi is a fan favorite, listen, he's Dominican. So he resonates with me, Don Juan, and everybody. I was rooting for the kid. That's free Obi. But once we traded him, too. I mean, and from New York, good point. But once we traded him, I mean, the trade package can be left a lot to be desired. But we forget the context where it's like the Knicks have to pay one of these guys. They're not going to pay both of them. And they picked quickly. And obviously they didn't pay quick. But as I mentioned earlier, I think they'll make some kind of a resolution there. But,
the thing is, you got to add to that, bro, is that we got a better player in Dante. That's a better rebounder and a better defender. Adds more versatility. We can always replace that back and forth with anybody.
He has less size, though, than Obi.
No, I get it. But I'm saying, like, we can always listen. We got Hartenstein. We can always flip-flop. We can always, like I said, even though Josh Hart's undersized, I think they're going to add a power forward at some point. I think they're just experimenting right now. But, I don't know if J. Michael Green's still out there. But, there's veterans out there you can get out there to play 15 minutes, 12 minutes a game. Something it's not like a dire need at the moment.
For sure. But ARIHOOPS, man, thank you for joining us tonight, brother. I know you got to get up out of here and take care of the rest of your evening. But you have a great evening, and we'll talk to you soon, bro.
Yeah, thanks, bro.
Definitely.
Can't be the last.
Me on, yo.
You already know, man. ARIHOOPS came on to the show, dropped some ball, killed it for the show, and dropped that Obi news that I really wanted to ask him about for a minute.
That Obi take, I mean, bro, he there was a lot of facts there, man, and even now that obviously it's a new day and age with the Pacers. We haven't really had that rivalry like we had when we was younger, and that, like, what he brought up, man, it does say a lot, man. Like, come on, you're a Knicks fan and you out here, pulling up highlights from a guy that's not even on your team no more. Like, you really get that time, man. Like, come on now.
Every game. And then he said it was the 11th game. He's been struggling this year. And after the 11th game, here we go on the timeline. I go, and it's just like all Obi news. And I'm like, gee, come on. I'm
You know they
about
were
to
waiting
mute,
for
I'm
it.
about to mute the word Obi, bro, and
You
I
know
don't
they were
want
waiting for it.
because I'm rooting for him from afar. Like I'm not rooting for the Pacers, but I hope he does well. But I can't when he has 27 points, I can't highlight it. I'm not gonna be like, yo, look what Obi did. And I'm on a group chat actually where I just be they were killing me last night, like, yo, where's Triple M? I'm like, bro, it took y'all 11 it took y'all 11 games to call me. Now y'all want to call me after 11 games.
Hey,
Where was it at after everything else? And it was just like, yo, I can't with y'all. And after every Randle turnover, they like, yo,
they
where's
send you
Triple M?
highlights of
Where's
that.
Triple M?
Well,
But
that's the thing. It's a similar crowd. The same people that really dislike Randall, the same ones that are, obsessing over Obi Toppin. Like I get it. I see the narrative you're trying to pull, but at the end of the day, who's your team?
exactly.
Okay. All right.
But here we go as we switch into the new topic. We got to bring in the sixth man turned into a starter of the show. My boy Zebo, he promised the Knicks would go 9-1 during this 10-game stretch. We went 5-5. And I told him during the episode, I'm like, bro, you're bugging. He said, I got this. He even questioned my fandom. He said, what are you a fan of? I'm like, bro, I'm a fan of reality. And we did what I said we would do. 5-5, push it forward, played
Mhm.
well, lost a couple tough ones, but we went 500. But here it is, my guy Zebo. And oh, whoa, Zebo looking like you in a nah, my boy Zebo moving different. He got a hotel. Where you at right now, bro? Where are you? Where are you right now? Look like you moving different right now,
Yeah.
like a
Yo,
hotel.
so that's why, so that's how we lead. That's how we lead in my introduction. That you just gonna put that out there.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
We not gonna start with the monster
You
game
came,
from
yo,
Julius
you
Randle.
came late
That's
to
what
the
we doing.
episode. You came late to the episode.
We not gonna start with the five straight 20-point games. Like that's not like that's what we doing now. Like
You came,
we
yo,
just gonna throw out the negatives, right?
you came
What?
late to
Nah,
the
regular. Nah, it's
episode.
cool.
You came
Nah,
late to the episode. We already talked
regular.
about the
It's
20
cool.
points. We already talked
It's
about the 20
cool.
points. We already talked about the 20 points. You came late to the episode, so you get
Did you talk about
roasted.
the monster game, my boy? Did you talk about the monster game my boy had today?
We
We
did, but
did. We did.
you
Oh,
can
you did?
explain
Okay.
on it. You can explain.
You talked about the fact that when whenever they had either Jalen Johnson, Sadiq Bey, what's his name?
A combo.
There was food, right? It was food, right?
Barbecue chicken.
Every time on the post, it was food. You spoke about that too, right?
Nah, we letting you do it. We letting
Nah,
you do it.
you go ahead.
All right, just
Do it.
letting you know, my boy was down in the block. He didn't go crazy chucking threes. Like I hope he mentioned that too. He was efficient. My boy
Mm-hmm.
was efficient today in the field. Assists. He was looking for people. He was doing his thing today. That's how I want you to lead my introduction next time.
All right. Oh,
Moving
okay.
forward.
He said,
Nah,
"Put some
That's how I
respect."
need. That's
He
how.
said,
Yeah,
"Put
that's
some
how I need my
respect."
introduction. The 5-5. Listen, yeah. I mean, I'm a little disappointed. Obviously, I expected 9-1. 5-5. We did. We beat the teams we were supposed to beat. There were a few games against good teams that I did want. Obviously, it didn't happen, but again, though, I'm still good though. I'm chilling. Like I'm not too high. I'm not too low. Like I don't want
20,
to
hold
I don't want
on.
to sound like a broken record, but go ahead,
29
go ahead.
29 points, 10 rebounds, 8
Thank you,
assists for Zebo's boy, Julius
thank you,
Randle. An
thank
absolute
you,
monster game.
thank you,
Or
thank you,
I'll say our guy. He's our
thank
guy.
you,
He's on our
thank
team.
you, thank
Julius
you,
Randle, just a monster game. Played
thank
well.
you.
And Zebo, you just threw this in there, but I want to just expand on it a little bit. Did not do just to shoot the three. I mean, I feel like that's when Julius is at his best.
That
He
is.
knew
Yeah,
he had food on the post. He was taking advantage and getting to the rim. And when it wasn't there, he was passing it out.
yeah.
And nothing like the Atlanta Hawks. Nothing like the Atlanta Hawks. Zebo, we talked about this the last show. After that game, after this game against who we play? Oh, Boston.
Mm-hmm.
The schedule eases up, And I feel like this is where we could build confidence, fellas. This is where we could build confidence where we got Atlanta now. Now we next game we got Washington, one of the worst defensive teams in the league. Let's take advantage. Let's get to the
Right.
bat. Let's do what we do. Today we scored 116 points. That's not like us. That's not like us during the first 10 games that we saw. And then after that, we got Charlotte, who we just dropped, I think 123 against. I forgot the final
Yeah,
score on
120,
that.
like 126 around there. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
129.
so 120,
29.
like
There you go.
129. So these are games where we can figure out where the offense works. And today it worked great. It worked great. So
Yeah. Nah, yeah, bro. I mean, we beating the teams we're supposed to be. Obviously, these are wins that we do expect. The Boston one, I don't know if y'all already spoke about that one, but that was a little disappointing. But I think with that game, I mean, I don't know if y'all talk about the
No, we
Boston
didn't
game
talk
already,
about
or
it.
nah, 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 nah. So we'll talk about it right now. But Don Juan, how you feeling about the New York Knicks after the first 11 games now? But let's talk about those 10 games in particular because
Mhm.
those 10 games we talked about it at length, multiple shows,
Yeah.
how hard it was gonna be those 10 games. And I was a little worried, but Zebo was totally
oh
optimistic.
my
And
god,
Don Juan, I'm gonna say you was on the more optimistic side as
Yeah, yeah.
well. You
I
said we
was.
could go 6-4, 7-3 possibly, but here we are 5-5. How you feeling after that?
Look, I was a little bit optimistic. Well, actually, I was optimistic. 6-4 against those. There was a lot of tough games there. Also, considering the fact there was a bunch of back to backs. I mean, three back to backs. I mean, the NBA has something against us, man. How you gonna do that to us in the first 10 games? Three back to back sets, like it's getting ridiculous. And I mean, look, we're 0-3 in the second game of those back to backs. So it's definitely exhausting to do that, especially when it's against you know one game was against the Pelicans, another one was against the Cavs, another one was against the Bucks, if I'm not mistaken. Like those are pretty tough opponents to face off for back to back. But nonetheless, 5-5. I mean, I wasn't that far off. 6-4. Come on, man. You can cut me some slack. I mean, nine
No
and one.
slack. No slack.
But nonetheless, I mean, I feel good, man. It feels good to win the games that you need to win, like the Hornets. I feel like the Hornets is always somebody that we always overlook. Well, as a team, I mean, I'm not on the court, but as a team, there's a team that always somehow always has our number. But games like that we have to win, and a game like today is also another one. Like, look, we have to compete, and I feel like every game besides the Celtics game, we were in every game, damn near. Celtics game, the Celtics, we were in that game as well, pretty much all throughout the game until the fourth quarter, where all hell broke loose. Tatum went crazy, pretty much caught fire, and then that was all she wrote. Honestly, that's just what the tier is. They're number one seed for a reason. They're the honestly for me, they're the best team in the East. So it is what it is. That's gonna happen. Then you also consider the fact that RJ was out, then that's gonna happen. RJ's been one of our best players in the season. What I do say is that I saw one thing that, you know, I mentioned this in a few episodes ago, where there's gonna be a problem when RJ's out. We're gonna be looking real small, and against a team like the Celtics, we look really small out there, man. We looked
Big time.
really small. I mean, Dante DiVincenzo was guarding Jason Tatum at one point. I'm like, are you kidding me, Tibbs?
Easy.
But
Easy.
at the end of the day, I mean, that's what the roster is built like. Is a bunch of guards. Some are like guard, somewhat wings and Josh Hart. But it is what it is. I mean, you're not gonna expect to win every game against the Celtics. That first night we played them, it was a great match, and we did our thing. Second time around, they did their thing, and they pulled away. But realistically, that was just one of those learning experiences. We take it to the chin and keep it moving. We're not gonna stress it. It's a long season. We probably got two more games against the Celtics. Let's just see how we game plan against them for those other games. But for now, 5-5. Well, now 6-5 after today's game. We looking good, man. I mean, we didn't expect to hit home run like unless you ask Zebo, but this is pretty much where we expected to be. It's gonna be a tough season. Every team is gonna wake up to players now. We're not gonna catch them by surprise anymore. It's just can we, make our free throws? Can we make open threes? It's the little things, man. The defense is. I feel like the defense is always gonna be there. Or even though today there were some plays that we could criticize, but free throws and open shots is something that's been haunting us this season. So we just gotta keep going, man, and stay healthy, man. That RJ injury is a little weird, and now Grimes. I mean, let's not get on this little, this little injury bug, Not this early in the season.
Yeah, Adi who's mentioned that he said it's like the next man up. Yeah, we talked at length how the Knicks have a lot of depth um in this roster, so we don't have that much depth though. There's a couple injuries that would trip us up. Like a Randle injury would kill us. That would kill us.
You talking about Sims at the 4? Come on, man.
Oh man, I don't even want to think of a Randle injury, man. Let me knock on some wood. But yeah, after 5 games, it was a little disappointing, even though I was the most pessimistic fan here between you three, because I feel like that Boston game that we went to where I messed up my elbow, I think we should have won that game.
Mm-hmm.
And those back to backs killed us, man. Like, fellas, those back to backs killed us. We just had no legs on like all 3 of those back to back. So it kind of gets me a little wary as more back to backs come up. We have a back to back coming up this week against Washington and Charlotte. Like, how are we going to show up to that game against the Hornets, a team that we took care of, though we have to win again. And the RJ injury is a little weird. They calling it a migraine, and I was joking around that I know a hangover when I see it, but he said it earlier when he said that he's played a lot of basketball in the last few months. So is RJ okay? It's something that I think about. Is this injury a little more serious that's being let on? Like, the Knicks are terrible at reporting injury. I remember a few years ago the Derrick Rose injury. Like, it was like he just has an ankle soreness, and he missed the whole season from like January.
Mm-hmm.
And he missed the whole season. So anytime a Knicks player missed multiple games, I worry about it just off my Knicks PTSD. Uh, but yeah, 5-5, I'll take it. I said it multiple times on this show, fellas. I'll take 5-5. It was a lot of tough teams. Boston 2 times, Milwaukee, New Orleans fully healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Even that Spurs game I worried about, because when Banyama, I felt like his first game at Madison Square Garden, he was trying to go crazy. And we've seen players go crazy at the Garden. So we took care of business 5-5. And this just showed me how well prepared this team is, fellas. This team is well prepared. Like, every game, you know that this team is going to come in locked in and focused. And here we are, another team against Atlanta. We could have easily lost this game. But the just preparedness, focus, Tibbs called that timeout and quickly came in clutch. And we took care of business here at the end. But 5-5, I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling okay here after 5 games. But yes, sir, man. Like we mentioned, Knicks win 116-114 on the road in Atlanta. Here we got 3 games coming up here against Washington on Friday, Charlotte on Saturday, and Minnesota, the number 1 rated team defense in the league right now. And Anthony Edwards looking like Michael Jordan Jr. right now. They call him. How y'all feeling with the next 3 games, Zeba? How you feeling?
I mean, I feel good.
When are you
this
not
stretch we
feeling
got
good?
coming up right now. I mean, bro, come on. It's like you said, bro. I'm feeling okay. Listen, Julius Randle is back in rhythm. Is something that both of y'all was really concerned about. I wasn't really concerned because I knew he would go ahead and bounce back. So he is starting to get to rhythm. So yeah, I'm feeling good. Like, honestly, these next few games should be winnable games. The Minnesota one, I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be hard because they are one of those teams. They're one of the most surprising teams in the league right now. I think the Towns
All three
Gobert
on the road. All three on the road.
again the Charlotte and Washington game, that should be winnable games again. That, and from what our track record is showing this season, we're beating the teams we're supposed to beat. So if it's, if again, if we going towards that, like if that's what's, if that's what it's showing us right now this season, then those should be winnable games. The Minnesota one, I'm not gonna lie, that is gonna be a real test, but I do expect our guys to come out with a win. Um, I do feel like you, where I am, where I do feel okay, but I want to start seeing this team get wins against elite teams. Like, again, I was hot. I did say we was gonna go 9-1. I'm not gonna sit here in front. I did say we was gonna go 9-1 because I had little higher expectations for this team. And so, and the reason why is because I thought we would be in the class with those, with the Philly, with the Boston, with Minnesota, with Denver. And so, probably not at their level, but at a notch, a little below them. So, but that starts with getting wins against elite teams. And so I feel good, these are going to be good tests, on the road. So again, we're 11 games in. Everyone is starting to get to rhythm. So Jalen Brunson is back in rhythm. Julius Randle. If we have RJ Barrett these next 3 games, I could see us going 3-0. I'm gonna say it. I know I said 9-1. But I'm going 3-0. That's how I'm feeling. Hold on. That's if RJ Barrett plays. If RJ Barrett plays these 3 games, we're going 3-0.
I had never thought I'd hear the day where Zebo said if RJ plays.
If RJ play, yeah, nah, bro.
Coming
I'm
around.
not.
Oh, where are we?
Listen, bro.
Where
I've been
are we,
showing
Don Juan?
He's
Don
coming
Juan, where
around.
are we?
I am coming around, bro. Come
He's
on.
coming
I'm
around.
not.
Oh,
The
man.
numbers speak for itself, man. I'm not gonna front, man. When RJ plays, our literally our starting five, our plus minus when he's on the floor is plus 17. Like when he's on the floor, like
Don
he
Juan,
does it.
he's dropping
It's a
RJ.
positive.
He's
Yeah,
dropping
bro.
RJ plus
My boy is
minus.
shooting 50. My boy is shooting 50% from three. I can't even like
Hold
when
on.
you gotta shoot it like that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
When you listen,
Oh yeah.
when you
Talking about
gotta
the RJ Barrett.
when you have a shooter like that, when you have somebody that's shooting like that from the field, I mean, yeah, you need him when you need him on the floor. The injuries that are coming up, yeah, they are a little bit concerning. But listen, man, the numbers speak for himself. Like when he's on the floor, he gives us a better shot at winning. So if we got RJ Barrett, we going 3-0. So let's see what happens. Hopefully we do. I mean, even honestly, even if if we just need him for that Minnesota game, because again, I feel like the one of the biggest things that has gone wrong with us is this, is this rotation with Josh Hart, rotating from the 3 and 4. Because again, I know you guys did speak about it a little bit, but man, this backup 4 situation and this the fact that we don't have any big wings is a bit concerning for us.
I
So,
told ya. I told ya.
it is. Nah, it
We need a
definitely is.
wing
And
in
so
here, bro. We need somebody 6'8" or taller, please.
we
Bring
did,
him
man,
in.
because KP killed us, man. We can't have Josh. We can't have Josh Hart. I mean, imagine Josh Hart, guarding Cat. Like this is not gonna happen. This is not
He
gonna happen.
he was
Jaden
just guarding
McDaniels,
Jason
come on,
Tatum who
man.
plays the
Anthony
4. He
Edwards.
was killing him. He
Yeah,
was
man.
killing
Anthony
him.
Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Cat. Nah, we can't have Josh. Nah, man. I
Yeah.
mean, Josh Hart's a good defender, but come on, he's not. He's not that good. Where we can't have him guard him all those
But
guys. So
we'll see. We'll
yeah,
see.
man.
It's a trade. I'm giving them to the trade deadline to figure it out because
Yeah,
I think it's a huge concern.
yeah, it is.
It just the Knicks can't play this small. Even today, we got the W, but you saw where it was like, who was the lineup? Brunson, quickly,
Hart.
Josh Hart, Randall.
It was small.
It was small.
It was small.
Bro. That's super small. Like if they had somebody a wing like Boston does with Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown, it's just a
Yeah,
bad matchup. And when you
yeah,
think about the playoff, which the Knicks are trying to advance, even the 76ers, you look at they have a big squad too. I think when Kelly Oubre comes back, he's a pretty tall wing.
Tobias Harris. Yeah,
Tobias
nah.
Harris, he's tough. He's a tall wing. So
Mm-hmm.
we look at these teams that we might match up against. You need to be ready. So I'm giving them to the trade deadline to see what they do.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Nah, and
and
that's the trend of the league too. Like if you want, like if you I mean, again, speaking about elite teams with big wings, Denver too. Look, Michael Porter Jr., Caldwell Pope,
Aaron
Aaron
Gordon.
Gordon, Jokic. So yeah, that's the trend of the league. And so nah, you definitely right, bro.
let's
Yeah.
see what the New York Knicks do.
I mean, I feel like I'm like Triple M, in the way that I'm in the same boat. I mean, I'm not. At the end of the day, they're in a situation where it worked for them last year. They want to just kind of just repeat that same energy, that same mantra or play style like they did last year. That seemed successful. It was literally plug and play with Dante DiVincenzo and OB, especially the way they used OB last year, just standing in the corner three. Granted, there was a lot of moments where, he was, some will call it cherry picking or just breaking out for the fast break. Though that was his bread and butter, but at the same time, we needed somebody to hit those big shots in the corner where it just
Right.
seemed like Obi was always wide open. And these 3 games, I feel like we're still learning how to play with each other. Like last
Mm-hmm.
year was a journey, of course, but this year is another one. These players are more mature. They're also still trying to find them in the right spots. But as you saw in that last stretch right there against the Hawks, it seemed like everything was clicking. Like whether it was Julius Randle filing Jalen Brunson in the corner, or whether it was Julius Randle telling IQ, yo, come and get the ball. I know you could do this. It's almost like the players are starting to believe in each other a little more. Where I think last year there was probably moments where there was moments that Julius or Jalen Brunson might trust the other guy, but maybe that other guy didn't believe in themselves. They probably would defer on the Julius a little bit too much or defer on Jalen Brunson. And with the cast that we have now, another year together, another year of more experience in the league, more confidence, more practice, more just in general, more of an NBA player and another year on this level. I think that we're gonna pull through. We're gonna pull through. I'm not saying we're gonna win the championship, but this
I
team
was just
has
about to say, I was about to ask you that.
not championship, but
Yeah,
even against the Celtics, granted, it was a tale of two halves, but that first half, I mean, being down one of our best players, we were there with them.
we battled.
We were there
We
with them.
battled, man. We
And
just
even
need.
and even in that second quarter, that's the Celtics got on a run to end that second quarter. We were beating them. We had control of the game, but at the end of the day, you don't win games by just winning the first half. You got to win the whole game. It's a full 48. So it is what it is. But I think that we were missing RJ that game, and it's been evident. This is our first game winning without RJ. We're 1-3 without RJ. And I feel like RJ has been that wing that has helped us, at least match up well with teams. And if he's down, it's gonna be tough to really match up against most of these teams that are bigger than us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
nah, it's a
expanding
fact.
on your point, Don Juan. It's crazy that Scott Perry. I don't know what he's up to right now nowadays. He's just like on.
And nah, he doing
No,
interviews
he's
now.
on a
He
media
chilling.
tour, right?
He's like spilling all the beans on the Knicks. He's spilling all our thoughts. Like, what's good with you, my boy?
I
You
like it
just gotta
though.
let
I'm not
you
gonna
let
lie, I
it
like
go.
it though.
But he just said like, yo, like the Knicks are one player away. Don Juan, as you mentioned, like we're
Yeah.
like literally one player away, one guy to just add on to this roster. And he mentioned it. It doesn't even have to be that superstar that we all want. I believe that we need a superstar. I believe if you look at the last 20 years of NBA champions, you need a top five NBA player
Mhm.
at that time, whatever the case might be, to win the championship. But he said that it doesn't even have to be a top five player to come in and just supplement and add on to this team. And the Knicks could be right there. They can be right there competing for an NBA championship. He mentioned, so
Mhm.
that's great to hear.
Yeah, it is. He
Yeah.
compared
And
us to the Detroit Pistons. He said, "Look, all they need is a Rasheed Wallace. I mean, Rasheed Wallace was a pretty good player at that time.
exactly. And
So
Chauncey Billups Is he going to the Hall of Fame? I don't know if he's going to. But Ben Wallace, I think he's going
Ben
to the Hall
Wallace,
of
I
He's going
think
to the
he
Hall
is.
of Fame.
But
Yeah.
I mean, there is a similar like feel in terms of how they build
All
that
right,
team
all
to
right.
that team. You know,
I'm gonna give you a quick test here before we end the show, and y'all give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. Thumbs up for the Pistons, thumb down for the Knicks. Chauncey Billups, Jalen Brunson.
wait. Oh, wait. Time out. Thumbs up for the Knicks, thumbs down for the Pistons.
Yeah. Okay, y'all going Brunson over Billups. Okay, here
Yeah,
we go.
Big Shot Brunson.
Rip Hamilton, Quentin Grimes. Okay, we're going piss. Okay, all right, I respect that. Tayshaun Prince, R.J. Barrett. Oh, I don't
Mm.
know. I feel like y'all disrespecting Tayshaun right now.
I mean,
He was a
RJ still has a
lockdown
long way. I mean, RJ
defender.
still has a long way to go. Yeah, nah, he was a lead on defense.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
think I
thing. He
might
was a
need to
lead
look
on
at. Yeah,
defense.
I think I might need to look into that answer. Oh, okay. Don't want.
I'm in here,
He gets
man.
a
2 thumbs
double
up.
thumbs up. Okay, here we go. Rashi Wallace, Julius Randle.
Come on now. Come on.
Oh, nah. See what you didn't even think
Come
about it.
on now.
Wallace was a beast, girl. Oh, don't want. I'm feeling. Oh, wait. Oh,
Come on, man. We're going with my guy, man. Shout out to
nah, that's
Rashid,
the
though.
one I gotta get the thumbs
He
down,
came
man.
through.
Y'all really forgetting she put in that work.
He did.
She put in that work.
He
Nah, he
did.
did. I mean, he was honestly he was their
Post
big shot.
up.
I
Give
mean,
me that ball in the post up, bro.
Shout out
yeah.
Sheed, though. He played for the Knicks, too. He came through at a time where,
Bro, I don't think
that's a
Julius is
veteran,
at
though.
that level. Y'all wilding right now.
I don't know, man.
I
I
feel
never
like
seen I
I
never
feel
seen
like the
Sheed All
last two
NBA.
y'all been wilding. I feel
I
like the
never
last
seen
two.
Sheed All NBA, man. I need to look at the books. Let me see what they say.
I don't know, but if he did not, I know, bro. She was a bucket in that low
So
post.
is Randall. So is Randall.
He's not really a bucket on all that post. He could do a lot more, but bro, he's one of the worst
Man.
shooting bigs in the first few games. Come on. But wait, let's finish this. Let's finish this game, and then we could do a little more. Ben Wallace, Mitchell Robinson.
I have to right
Okay,
now. Right
Man, I'm
now.
not
Right
gonna
now.
lie.
okay.
It
Right
hurts me
now.
to do
Let's see
this,
how it goes.
but
Let's
Mitchell
see how the
Robinson
next
has so
few.
much left in his career that he's gonna make
Yeah,
it
that's
this.
why.
He's
That's
gonna
why.
make it
Yeah.
this, man.
He's gonna make it
Yeah.
there.
They both on the same trajectory. If I'm not mistaken, Ben Wallace either was undrafted or a late draft player, and look at the career he managed to pull off. Well, I think Mitchell Robinson is on the same trajectory. Shit, maybe even better. But
I
no,
mentioned it to Triple M last episode. There's no reason why Mitchell Robinson he could be at the. I feel like he could be at that Gobert level, and Gobert. I mean, even though in the last few minutes of the game you don't want Gobert in,
come on, man.
he's still a difference on defense. And listen, man, as much as people
Ben
hate on
Wallace
Gobert,
undrafted.
that's
Undrafted.
a
Guys, pull up Rasheed Wallace stats right now, man. Come on, man. Don't you ever disrespect my man Randall like that.
I'm about to
nah.
look.
Yeah,
His
Mario.
best
Nah,
scoring
yeah.
career
Triple
was
M is
20
hating
and
right
6,
now.
B. Come on, 20 and 6 was his best year. Obviously,
That was.
different game. The speed is probably a
Exactly.
little higher
The-
now. But 20 and 6? Come
A
on, man.
complete different game, bro. A complete different game.
Wait, but he ended his career as a Knick. You know, once a Knick, always a Knick. So I gotta show love to the OG too.
But yeah,
Nah,
man.
he
I mean, but
was
real quick, man.
solid,
There's no
bro.
reason.
He was
I mean,
solid.
but real quick, man, like there's no reason, just like y'all said, man, like I mean, just like Don Juan said, there's no reason why after Philly Boston, there's no reason why I feel like we're right there with Milwaukee. I'll be honest with you. Milwaukee's not that good. Like Milwaukee's not that good
Oh,
on
here we
defense.
go. He
We're
was
elite
talking
on
that
defense.
shit.
We're
He
I
was
elite
mean,
on
talking.
defense.
yo, defense with
After Boston
championships,
and
right?
Philly, there's no reason why we shouldn't be the third seed.
I hear
For
that.
real.
We got all the tools
Yeah,
to
we're
be that
talented. I
team.
mean, if we have a healthy RJ, there's no like I don't see any other team in the East other than Philly and Boston that we can compete with anybody. I really feel that
Anytime you
way.
say healthy
Again,
RJ,
I mean the one thing I did want to mention is that talking about, Don Juan said 6-4. I'll be honest, if in most of those games you would have shot the ball really well and with a healthy
Just made
RJ,
some free
we could
throws.
have and make free throws. Honestly, bro, we could have finished at 6-4, probably a little better.
Yeah, I think just made free throws. You would have been better. The shots, so there's a hit or miss, but free throws, man, it's called charity stripe for a reason, man. Those will
That's
give
a
me,
fact.
Yeah, we need to make our free throws.
man. They ranked the Knicks ranked last I saw actually before this game. They ranked 29th in the league, shooting 72% from the free throw line. That's pretty
Yeah, nah,
bad.
our shooting is bad. Our shooting
That's
is
pretty
bad. That's
bad.
the only. That's the only thing that's been limiting us to wins. Like
No, and
that's
our
the only
three
thing that's
point
been
and our
affecting our
3 point
wins.
shooting, we either are extremely on fire or completely
Completely off.
garbage from downrange.
Today we shot 47%, bro. That's
But
gonna,
that's good. That's great.
yeah,
That's what
no,
I'm
that's great.
saying. We
Yeah,
haven't we haven't had a game where like we're in between. Like
Yeah.
we either on fire or like shit. We like shoot like shit. So
right.
it is what it is. But fellas, man, what a show. After the Knicks win a thrilling game in Atlanta, taking care of business. Give me
Yes.
your closing thoughts, Don Juan.
NBA, y'all really did us dirty. Y'all thought y'all was slick. We already headed to our fourth back to back. Hasn't even been a month into the season. Four back to back. Something's got to give. I need to see if every other team has the same amount of back to backs because there's some conspiracy against the Knicks, man. Whether it's lottery drafts, whether it's back to back games, whether it's officiating. The officiating been a little questionable. But you know what? I don't want to get a fine. Let me just stop talking. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And 6-5, I mean, 11 games, I expect a little better, but, I can't complain. We're above 500. Now let's build on and continue doing what we got to do.
Yes, sir. Zebo, what's your closing thoughts, bro?
Yo, to my Knicks fans, don't jump off the ledge. Like we all right, man. Like 6-5 is good. Like we're okay. We went through a rough stretch with where we faced some elite teams. We gonna be good. Like I'm telling y'all right now. So man, just keep riding with us. Like we gonna be good. So man, just keep
Pause.
man, keep supporting it up. Pause. Yeah, nah, keep supporting us. Like, subscribe, man. Just keep showing us love and yeah, man. The season's gonna be good, man. Randall's in a good vibe right now. I'm in a good vibe. Everybody's in a good vibe. So yeah, man. Just keep showing love, man.
Yes, sir, man. Listen, Knicks move to 6-5. We looking at it right now. First, first of all, thank you for your support here as we reach 1,000 subscribers. I was listening to last year's show, fellas, around this time. Me and Zebo were on our way to Denver. Unbeknownst to me, Zebo was gonna go, but I knew I was going to Denver, and just listen to the growth we've made since that time. So shout out to my brothers Don Juan and Zebo. Thank you for just on this journey. This Knicks talk has been fun, and we do this for fun. We do this for fun, and we have a lot of fun doing it. It never feels like too much force. And thank you for y'all for listening. If y'all still even listening to the show here an hour in, thank you for the support. Thank you for the love. We got something very, very special for you guys next show. As we almost reached 1,000 subscriber list here, we got something very swell to give out. You know how we do on Next Wildin podcast. We do a nice giveaways. We don't do no little shirts or anything. We do jerseys. We do tickets. We do something nice. We do something nice. So we're gonna do something nice next week. But make sure to like, subscribe the video, and thank y'all for tuning in as always to another episode of the Knicks Wildin podcast. You already know the vibe. Triple M, Don Juan, Zebo. Thank you to our special guest, Adi Hoop, for jumping on with the fellas, man. We up out of here. Peace.